Today we're playing around with a 1959 Elgin 12 horse made by West Bend. This was the last year that West Bend was making the 12-4 Sears. This could be ordered from the Sears catalog, that ginormous wish book as we called it. If you look in their spring-summer catalog, you can find this there. From what I could figure, the early 59s were a light gold color with white, and then the last ones they made were this turquoise or aqua color and white. This one I had to redo the whole thing. I got it from a scrapyard in the Bronx. It was on Marketplace. The guy said it ran. It was total jalopy. It had like plenty of backyard mechanics working on it over the years. Everything was just horrible. So I had to go through the whole thing. I had to pull the power head apart and of course go through the ignition system and the fuel system, and the gear case was resealed and all the good stuff. One thing I noticed with this is that once I got it all running, it had a vicious vibration. Like, it was like comical. It was so bad. The tiller would shake like crazy at all speeds, even low speed. I was like, how did they even sell this thing like that? And it was all original. So I was digging around my parts and scratching my head on it, and all I could figure out, and I'm not an authority on these, but this is what I think happened. In 1959, West Bend made a 16 horsepower, which took the same taper flywheel with a slightly different mag plate, but it fit right on this engine. So all I can think of is maybe at the factory they were using up parts that were laying around, or they got mixed up or whatever, but this one had the same flywheel and mag plate as my 16 West Bend. So I figured, the West Bend 16 is a bigger bore engine, so the balance would be way off because the piston weights are different. So long story short, I put a older 12 horsepower flywheel and mag plate on this, and bam, smooth as silk like they all are. All right, so that solved that problem. So I actually ran across that prior to this with another one, actually two other ones from this year, from 59. So if you come across that, that is the cure that I found. But they're good running engines. I think we should go for a ride. I'm getting kind of close to the shoreline here, so let's see if we can fire it up and move. Guess I shouldn't have had my lunch before. Great engines. You can see the boss here, where earlier they had the selectable horsepower, 5, 7.5, 12 horsepower. This is just a plain Jane leftover parts 12, I guess you could call it. Let's see how it goes. course, this one has the door in the front for low speed and high speed mixture. Nice and easy to get to. Choke. This is the tilt lock that you have to pull out to tilt it up. I should say that's the release. All right. And then this is the tilt lock. When you lift it up, that springs in, and then to tilt it back down, you got to pull it out, spring loaded. These are, again, one of my favorite engines. They're so smooth when they're right, and they have a real broad like power band on them, so you can cruise really nice with them. You can idle around, you can go fast. They just do everything right. They should have been more widely recognized. In my area, I never saw them until recent years when I started collecting. So they're every bit as good as an OMC or Mercury or anything, the greats as they call them. So if you pick up a 12 horsepower and you're having trouble with it, stick to it. There's tons of them around. This one, again, I got from a scrapyard. And they're usually, not that bad. Usually they suffer from like backyard mechanics just not knowing what they're doing. Just got to straighten them out and they run fine. All right, so 1959 Elgin 12 horsepower made by West Bend.